Today marks 1 week since Hurricane Milton made landfall, and some neighborhoods are still underwater. West 2's Haley Crumble Home is in DeLand, where people there in one subdivision still are not able to go home.
Oh, hi, thanks for joining me. So, today I'm going to do a little show and tell. I'm not going to be doing the same kind of, really entertaining, high quality miniature painting videos that a lot of other, YouTubers are able to do. But I wanted to talk to you guys today about choosing a color scheme for your army. This is something that I have really not had the opportunity to do in the past. You can see here this miniature on the right hand side is quite old. This is a metal miniature from, I believe, the Patriarch set. It's like the Patriarch on its throne, and this is like an advisor to the Patriarch. I painted this in my early teens. Probably I was 13, 14 or something when I did this. Perhaps my HQ main color scheme is going to be this sort of forest green or something like that. But for my regular infantry, I want to do something different. But maybe at least if I just put these two things side by side, I figure I can pick a color scheme that is going to look somewhat unified, no matter what. So this is actually a test model here on the left that I painted. That's the first thing that I would recommend is if you guys are going to be, doing a paint scheme for your entire army, paint a test model or two. It's really going to help you out a lot. So I used some reference photos. Because these guys are miners, I wanted to base them at least loosely on current modern day mining outfits. You can see here this gentleman is wearing kind of like blues and grays, sort of primary colors, but it's really accented for visibility with these yellow caution, visibility stripes. These are probably reflective. So I was like, okay, that's something I took note of, right? You go over here, this gentleman, it's a different kind of outfit, but again, you've sort of got a blue full jumpsuit with probably these reflective sort of visibility things, bright yellow on the helmet and the ear protection. Here, same thing. They've got yellows, oranges, reflective stripes, right? Markings on their equipment, markings on their outfits, these kinds of colors. If you look at it here, basically kind of a single color jumpsuit. I went for something really neutral, just gray. Brown boots. I did black on the knee pads here, but on the elbows, I was like, they need something for visibility, maybe something that's reflective. You've got an orange shoulder piece with those maybe reflective stripes on them. So I was like, well, what if we just did halves and half? All right, so maybe the top half stays like this. What if we gave him the pants that are green, like the green that's on our HQ unit here? Not bad. Goes pretty well with the sort of orange red that I have up here, but it wasn't quite something that I was satisfied with. So I tried a blue. This is more like blue jeans, or like the blues that you saw on those gentlemen, their jumpsuits or their overalls and things like that. This looks pretty good, I think, but it still just didn't, pop quite as much as I was hoping for, and I wanted to just try out some other stuff. Here, actually, I guess this is just the regular jumpsuit without any pant color. So I decided I didn't really like the brown boots. I wanted black boots, and if I was doing that, I'm like, well, what if it was black on the upper part, the sleeves and things like that, and then it was sort of gray on the bottom. This is interesting, kind of unifies the boots with the sleeves. But I think my main takeaway from this actually was just putting the hazard stripes on the gun. I think I might have seen this on maybe even some official Games Workshop paint schemes for this miniature. So I think it's extremely appropriate for this particular army because they are working in hazardous conditions, and yeah, I think that's kind of how they should look. So I brought back in this yellow jumpsuit to this. So now you have the yellow jumpsuit with these reflectors. You've got the hazard stripes, and somehow I think this was starting to feel more like where I was going once I had those hazard stripes in there. So I didn't really like the blue, so we've switched to a green on this, and now this is really starting to come together. It's loud, but I'm starting to feel like, well, maybe this is kind of the look I'm going for. But they say kill your darlings, right? One thing I haven't changed at all are the shoulder pads, and with this scheme, the shoulder pads, they're standing out, and I don't like them. So I tried making them basically match the carapace here, but keep the stripes. So we've got orange stripes, seems okay. Green stripes, seems okay. Take the stripes off, and I'm like, you know what? I think that's what I want to do. So this is basically the color scheme that I've gone with for my army. Now, one thing I think is kind of important is to actually compare yourself to others, right? I know people will say, don't compare yourself to others, and that has a place in terms of like, don't put yourself down for like the level of your painting. Focus on where you are and improving from there. I think that that's really good advice. But when it comes to picking a color scheme, I feel like go ahead and compare yourself to others, because what I felt like is if this is going to be my color scheme, and then I'm going to look at some official Games Workshop color scheme art or something like that, even somebody else's color scheme, and I'm going to be like, man, I should have just painted my army like that, then I'm going to feel really dumb by the time I've painted a whole army like this when they could have looked like this. But, looking at this, you've got the orange with and actually this is part of the reason why I felt so confident, I feel like, on the, this sort of neutral off-white color for the top basically part of the miniature here, is that it worked really well on these, and it also matches kind of like what I was doing with the old miniature, and I just think it looks good. You've got this classic sort of red and blue scheme too. I just don't like it a whole lot. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but when I was like, well, I could have my guys look like this, or I could have my guys look like this, yeah, I like my color scheme better personally, right? So I think that's important. Go ahead and compare. It does, of course, share elements with, the hazard striping, and, just that these dudes are kind of like, they look like these futuristic miners, and I think I capture that in this. So you can see here, this is the painted miniature, and it's extremely close, I think, to my color scheme here. I did this with my normal technique with Army Painter speed paints with some underpainting on them, and I think it came out really well. I've gone ahead and painted up a number of my guys in this color scheme. This isn't the best picture, and I apologize. Also, I feel a little frustrated with the skin tones just a bit. You can see here how I've got these, dark skin tones for these guys here, and I did those on some barbarian guys for Warcry. So I thought I was going into this like being, yeah, I can do all kinds of skin tones, and I'm not thrilled. I might try to redo these a little bit, but they're pretty good. But basically, I wanted to see how these look also with pure strains. I like the classic purple and blue pure strains. I think this looks really nice together. These bases right now obviously are just temporary. They are white, and I think these are going to be quite dark, and I think when they have these kind of dark bases on them, it's going to look really cool. Personally, I think this is going to be really nice. So, this has just been my journey with trying to put together my first like army color scheme. You can see here, I basically had Deathwatch Overkill, which is where a lot of my miniatures come from, and some old pure strains from Lost Patrol and from Space Hulk. I've got some old metal hybrids, metal magi, and things like that. These were from just back in the day when I was collecting miniatures for Space Hulk mostly. And here we have, some more miniatures from Deathwatch Overkill, but it's hard to tell, but I 3D printed like stuff like this guy here. They're using like kind of a conversion sprue for Astra Militarum to convert them to genestealer cult whatever they call them, like Brood Brothers or something like that. And I think it's a really good mix. You know, I'm not trying to like, I don't know, like deprive Games Workshop of their hard-earned cash or anything like that, but I do have a 3D printer, and yeah, I just wanted to fill out my force a little bit more. If you want to keep track of what I'm doing, I always still have my PixelFed account. I just want to add in a little personal philosophy. I really don't like Instagram. Instagram is owned by Meta, Facebook, whatever you call them, and it has all of the problems of modern social media. It has an algorithm, right? I just wanted to follow miniature painters on it, and they just want to serve me posts so that like they can manipulate my engagement with their platform, right? I also had a lot of trouble with posting things and having them seemingly be flagged. Like, they don't give you personal tools for working with their platform. For that, they try to do it all automatically, and I just hated it. PixelFed or Mastodon or something like that, you know, I love it here. You know, I guess if you go to my account, you know, you can keep track of all the stuff that I'm doing. Some of this stuff is as recent as, you know, 5 days ago, a week ago, 3 weeks ago. I'm posting about recasting miniatures, playing Adeptus Titanicus, you know, what I'm doing with my Space Hulk stuff, with orcs, with, you know, my recent painting, and, you know, these dudes that I 3D printed. I've got all of them here. As far as I know, you can follow it from a Mastodon account. You can make your own PixelFed account. I'm on PixelFed Social. You can go to any Mastodon server, any PixelFed server. I would encourage you guys, especially if you're using Instagram, do PixelFed also, right? This is all the stuff that people are painting and posting on here. There is no algorithm. I just get to see the people I follow and the hashtags that I follow in the order that they're posted, and I get to enjoy this stuff and like it when I like it, and that's it. I love it. I'd really recommend that everybody, you know, stop using these corporate commercial social media platforms that are scraping your stuff for AI. Just, you know, do something that makes more sense. Anyway, that's my plug, and I hope that you guys, you know, enjoyed this. Thanks for joining me, and I will catch you guys later with some more miniature painting videos. Take care.